WrestleMania 39, booked for the first time by Triple H. And man, I have to say, it was a phenomenal job. SonGoshuaku here, joined by my guest, Rob Fury.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Rob Fury here, the mogul of hotness, the king of sexy, the crown prince of damn you're so fine, and your special guest for tonight.
Our first match, John Cena versus Austin Theory for the United States Championship. All right, so basically John Cena starts off pretty hot, but Austin Theory actually took it to him for most of this match in the beginning. And John Cena, he had a few comebacks and everything, and I thought he did a good job of constantly mocking John Cena with the "you can't see me" and all that stuff. By the way, I forgot to mention, I thought it was really cool, the entrance for John Cena, how they had him come out basically with the kids from Make-A-Wish. So that's been always cool with John Cena.
Very touching.
Yeah, definitely. And then Austin Theory, of course, when he was getting right over most of the match, John Cena didn't make that comeback with what most of the internet fans have called it, the 5 moves of doom, except there was no doom this time. You had John Cena go up for the AA, or if you were a really old school fan, the FU. That's what my generation remembers it as. True. He went with Austin Theory, and basically Austin Theory's feet hits the referee, and this is where you knew it was going to be Shenanigan City. And that's basically from there where Austin Theory was able to get a low blow in, hit the A-Town down, and get the 1, 2, 3 when the referee comes back to 2, and John Cena is defeated. Now, here's my thing. Was this the right move? Yes. Austin Theory, the up-and-coming young star, should be going over a veteran like John Cena. He's a legend in the business. There's nothing left for him to prove. So, yeah, that's right. But as with everything, they once again could not make Austin Theory win the match clean. And that's the problem. You have to establish this guy as somebody who is credible. This didn't really do much in order to legitimize him. Had he picked up a clean winner against John Cena at WrestleMania on the biggest stage, that would have made him a truly great, just star on the rise. And there will be a match we talk about later where I felt they did do that. But that's basically what I got to say. It was an okay match. Like I said, great finish, but man, I just wish they would have made Theory look more legitimate. They didn't do it the last year, whether it's Vince or Triple H booking him. That's my only thing. Rob, I'll take it over you. What's your take on this match?
You see, now being someone like, of course, we know I've been a wrestler since 2009, and I have been really extremely busy with my with work and just life in general. So I am not watching the product very well. So I'm very glad that we had the fantastic people in Too Sweet Cosplay in the group literally give me like a blurb of exactly the storylines, what's going on, and the preferencing. So just
shout out to them, by the way, who they got a wrestling panel at C2E2. We're proud of you. Just letting you know.
Very good stuff. We appreciate your help and you guys being awesome. But so I want to preface with that first. So seeing Austin in Theory, just like it's so funny. It's just like I kept seeing, like, he's like Stifler from American Pie. He's like that guy that you just want to punch and you can't stand. And like I'm not very used to seeing Austin Theory, but like just seeing how, first I was wondering, how did he get onto a platform with John Cena, a legend like John Cena? And then just seeing how he works, I'm just like, all right, I see like a young Randy Orton forming, and I just see that he could get somewhere. But yet again, it's just like, I feel like the WWE is not putting all their eggs in the Austin Theory basket for the simple reason that he's just a little bit lacking on the mic still. Like in ring, he is solid, but I just feel like he's still lacking on the mic. It's kind of like reminiscent of Roman Reigns when Roman Reigns went against John Cena, and then John Cena basically roasted him about forgetting his promo. So it's kind of like that. I feel like he's on the cusp. Like he just needs probably to like go back to being a face, or if he was ever a face, going to being a face, and then going for a really substantial and meaningful heel turn like Roman Reigns. That would help him in the long run. But right now, I just feel like he's lacking in the mics.
Yeah, very well said. In terms of how you put it together. I do think though, for me personally, I feel he's good on the microphone. He's got charisma, but it's a lot of the booking. But you mentioned Roman Reigns, and that was one of the issues with Roman Reigns. I always thought Roman Reigns was a great talent. I just thought the booking, they got to get better booking around him. But yeah, that's all that's left. There, he's got all the tools. Just make this guy legitimate, man. But yeah, moving on to our next match. It was a fatal four-way tag team showcase men's match featuring Braun Strowman and Ricochet versus Alpha Academy, consisted of Chad Gable and Otis, or if we've been following the recent storyline, Otis. Versus the Street Profits, consisted of Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford versus the Viking Raiders, consisting of Eric and Ivar, with Valhalla, who of course is Sarah Logan. So now the thing about this match was a lot of people were saying how this was thrown together. I even saw people say this was going to be the bathroom break match. And let me tell you, these 8 guys went out there and delivered a fantastic match. This is what I'm talking about. When the WWE doesn't give you much to work with in a story and you still go out there like it's the match of your life, I give all the talent, the props when it comes to that. And this match definitely delivered. It's just, if you would have said this is for a number 1 contenders match to determine who's going to face the tag champs at Backlash when they have it in Puerto Rico, then by all means, this match would have felt like it had a lot of higher stakes. But there were some cool moments. Some of the highlights that I got from this match was Chad Gable. What a beast, man. He did this spot with Braun Strowman where he rolls back and then does a deadlift German suplex to Strowman. Like, man, that was
A la
fantastic.
Doug Williams, by the way.
Pretty
A la
much.
Doug Williams.
Yep. And props basically as well. We saw some really cool stuff. Like I thought we were gonna see a Tower of Doom spot, which I feel like is in every multi-man match, but this one was a little different.
It
Basically,
was
the
sexy.
the Viking Raiders, they had a couple of guys on their shoulders, and I believe it was Ricochet who jumped off and did like a crossbody, laying them out. I'm like,
Yep.
okay, that's what I'm talking about. Something innovative new that made me go like, wow, okay, I didn't see that. So that was good. Here's a part really got me in the match. Oh, so Braun Strowman, he does his Strowman Express running over everybody, and then he runs into Angelo Dawkins,
Dawson.
just
Yep.
boom, yeah, just basically bulldozes Braun Strowman. I'm like, dang, it was
Yeah,
good
he's like, yo,
stuff.
I come from the streets. You better bring it.
Yeah,
Bring it
for
hard, bro.
sure.
I play ball. Don't be trying to check up on me.
And then I thought this was really well shot. A lot of people give Kevin Dunn flack, and I understand with the whole camera motion stuff, but I'll give him points, man. He was on point with making sure his camera guys was in position for this one. Ricochet does this where I think he jumps onto the top of the rope and does a shooting star press and lands on everybody. And like I said, the way the camera angle was done, it was really well, it was really great. And from there, he throws Angelo Dawkins back into the ring and does his 450 splash, but he ends up landing on Dawkins' knees, who basically countered that way, holds him down, and Montez Ford, I always say it, one of the most beautiful frog splashes in the business today. He does it, turns his body halfway, hits him 1, 2, 3. The Street Profits
From
win
the
this match, which
heavens.
I didn't think this was going to be happening. If Eddie Guerrero was still alive, he'd be so proud of Montez Ford, basically, with what he can do. So that was pretty good, man. Yeah, after this, like I said, these men did a tremendous job, and I hope tomorrow night we see the same thing with the women when they do their fatal four-way tag match. So like I said, it was a showcase match. It was really good. My only complaint is I just wish this would have been the number 1 contenders match. Rob, take it away. What was your thoughts on this match? And
I
yeah, it
thought
was kind of thrown together, but these guys delivered anyway.
Yeah, I thought this match was very good. There was like like I said, I haven't been watching the product for a while, so seeing everybody do their thing, the Street Profits, like I keep saying it, they are like Crime Time, but they just got the opportunity that Crime Time actually did not get, and they're showcasing their stuff so beautifully. It's great, and just seeing like Chad Gable, he's like seeing everybody there. Chad Gable was the smallest person, but he's just a workhorse. There's a workhorse, and just everybody they had such great chemistry, just pulling these things together. I did notice something though. Otis, like he's a big boy, but
That he is.
he sweats in some of the most inopportune places. And when you just see him just squatting over to the rope for the Tower of Truth spot, you just see butt crack full of sweat. And I'm like, oh,
You
geez.
know, what's his name on commentary? Shout out to Titus O'Neil, who I thought was great on commentary. Whatever, however he does it right. Yeah, he was mentioning all the sweat during that.
So much sweat. But like I definitely gotta say the Street Profits, they are a great tag team. They're up and coming. Like I'm not saying that they are there yet. They're not, I don't think that they're at the level of the Usos, but they are literally they're close to it. Like they just need one breakout match and then that's it. Like they've got it. They've definitely got it. Oh snap! You just listen to the Matrix, but like they've got it all. So I want to definitely say congrats to them. Yeah, I actually agree. It should have been a number one contenders match that would set up because everybody knows WrestleMania. That's when you finish a lot of storylines and then you restart. And this would have been a great way to start the Street Profits onto somewhere around Survivor Series, winning the belts or something like that. But that didn't happen, of course, because of stuff later on that we're going to talk about. But nonetheless, everybody did a phenomenal job. Like everything mattered. Everything looked like it was hard hitting and it worked. So congrats on that fatal 4-way match.
Oh yeah, man, for sure. We're gonna move on to the next match. Seth freaking Rollins versus Logan Paul. Man,
Oh God.
alrighty, yeah, I know Rob, you haven't been watching, but and I don't follow Logan Paul at all, so I've
I
heard.
can't stand him. I can't stand him, and I will preface this right now. I do follow crypto, and I don't approve of Logan Paul being in the WWE. It's absolutely horrible that they are supporting someone that literally has stolen from millions and millions of his fans. And on top of that, like, granted, I will give you props. The guy is athletic. He is a decent worker. The guy, he shocked me. But as a human being, I do not like him as a human being for what he's done in his endeavors. So that's all I gotta say. And I just got a point before we go into the match. I learned to respect Seth Rollins. I like him now. But man, this gimmick that he has and the clothes and oh my God. I'm looking at him. I'm like, is he okay? He's wearing a rep. That's a Shawn Michaels outfit, the chaps, but it's bubble wrap. I don't what?
Oh,
So yeah.
well, yeah, hey, that's where I was gonna start off with these entrances, and let me say, it's cool to hear your perspective because I don't follow Logan Paul. I'm a big wrestling fan, so that's
Yeah.
kind of the most I've ever dealt with Logan Paul is seeing him in wrestling, and I'll give him that. I've heard a lot of not good, not a lot of great things about him for sure, but when it comes to performing in that ring, man, the guy's on point. I give him that. He
Yeah.
takes it
He's
serious.
he's
Um,
good.
but as you were mentioning these entrances, so yeah, Logan Paul had a very Shawn Michaels WrestleMania 12S type of entrance, and Seth Rollins he had a special orchestra director out there who's directed the crowd with a oh, that song and everything. So that was cool, but yeah, I'm not sure what about the get up. That was that big long red coat. I'm not sure what he had on there, but he has really embraced the sports entertainment side of pro wrestling. I'll give him that.
Him and Charlotte literally like they collaborated on their gear today because they were just all bubble wrapped. They're like, listen, I'm not trying to fall on my way to the ring or something, but yeah, lackluster WrestleMania outfits this year. Well, day one, day two may be better ring gear. So
Well, we'll see that for tomorrow night. And then let's see in terms of the match here. So yeah, man, I got in my notes here. The match was great. A lot of great near falls. So I thought they built a great drama with what we had with Logan Paul getting multiple near pins. Seth Rollins was great at those near kick outs. There were so many times where it was like 99.99%, point% before you get to that 3-second count. There was oh yeah, let's talk about some angle alert. See, when you've been a pro wrestling fan for so long, you just know these things. So he came
Oh
out with a
gosh.
mascot with his but on his energy drink, and I was like, oh, okay, something cool for his interest. And then I'm looking at the match, and I'll give WWE credit. They shot it in a way where they weren't bringing attention. So the only time you saw him was when the corner, when they would turn change a shot, and you see him laying off there in the background. I'm like, wait a minute, what's he still out there? I'm like, somebody's in there. So I'm thinking maybe Jake Paul's in there, but I just knew that was an angle alert. And that's eventually where we end up finding out that it was KSI, who I don't follow, but based on, once again, what I've heard from friends, I like Logan Paul. A lot of people don't like him. Even one of my, shout out to my boy Linux, who's been on some of my podcasts on my YouTube channel here. He messaged me and said, yo, that was funny what they did. And he enjoyed it being done to KSI. So they do a spot where Seth Rollins is on the announce table, and I thought it was really good how they did it, because it actually physically protect Logan Paul. So his buddy KSI is basically shooting with the what is it called, the cell phone footage, and he's holding Seth Rollins down. And so Logan Paul goes up to Ton and preparing for the big frog splash that he does. Seth Rollins pulls him goes off the announce table, pulling KSI onto the announce table. Now, the way they shot this, I think it was mistimed a little bit. Clearly there was enough time there where Logan Paul sees that KSI is right there on the announce table, and you know what? He's like, I'm just gonna jump anyway. So he jumps.
No, because I thought the same thing, but on the replay, if you look closely at the replay, Logan Paul drinks the pure energy drink, spits it, and goes right into the jump. And I thought he spits it and looks, but on a replay, it's literally he spits and jumps into it. I'm like, okay. It was just the pull. The Seth Rollins pull was just a little bit too slow. So it's like KSI is laying there for like a good 3 seconds. Like, okay, I'm here.
and this is why, folks, for everyone that's watching, appreciate it, by the way, everyone's that's watching live on Rob's TikTok, and for those of you watching on demand here on my YouTube, this is the reason why it's good to have a second perspective sometimes, because I totally missed it. To my perspective, like, he just jumped anyway, but I'm glad you mentioned that, Rob.
I thought the same thing too, bro. I thought the same thing. That replays, those replays, dang it.
Right. But what I liked, though, was when he did land on the KSI, this was good because he's wearing a very cushiony suit, because that's what messed up his knee back when he did the move to Roman and back in Saudi Arabia. So this actually protected Logan. There was a lot of cushion for when he was able to go on there. So I thought that was really good how they did that. And especially like, there was an injury to Dante Martin. Please get well soon, man, on that ROH show. So I'm glad they're able to do spots that are a lot more safer when I'm able to see that. Get well to Dante Martin, though. His leg snapped just like Sid Vicious. So all wishing the best for him. Yeah. And then in the let's see what we got here in the next part. So Logan Paul, basically when they get back in the ring, it eventually ends up leading to where Seth Rollins is able to hit the pedigree and then the curb stomp and get the 1-2-3 on him. So that was good. I enjoyed the match, and Seth Rollins, a much needed big win at WrestleMania. It's been a while, so I knew this match was gonna kick all types of butts, and I thought it delivered. Once again, great job, Logan Paul. Like I said, I don't follow him. I've heard a lot of not good things about him, but I'll give him that. When he gets in the ring, he delivers, and we always know Seth Rollins delivers. And he was way over with everybody singing this song. Yeah.
It was a fun entrance. Yeah, indeed.
Yeah, Rob. Yeah, any last things you want to say about this match before we move on?
Yeah, like I definitely want to point into, once we got into the nitty-gritty of the match, I will say that we were talking about frog splashes before, and I will say that Logan Paul has a very, very beautiful art bar-esque frog splash. The praying hands through the legs looking like a frog. It is the most frog splash-esque frog splash that we've seen since Eddie Guerrero. And it sucks because it's from Logan Paul. But with that,
and guys, listen to Rob. He's been in the ring, so this man knows.
So it really hurts for me to say that, but it's very art bar-esque. And everybody knows Eddie Guerrero got his frog splash from his partner Art Bar. So It's really it's rough, but I gotta give him props on that. The whole back and forth, it was great. Great match overall. I will absolutely give it props. There's one thing that does bother me as someone that follows the business a lot. Well, trying to restart it again. It's that Seth Rollins was the champion for so long. For Seth Rollins to go have such a distinctive back and forth with someone that just got into the business and does not have that much time in the business, it kind of does. Like you said, now Seth Rollins won a big match, but yet again, Logan Paul shouldn't be a big match. He should be, in how coming into the business, you just started coming in. Yeah, you got big matches with the big guys, but you're still a rookie. So you're nothing to Seth Rollins, that someone that has held the Universal title, held the undisputed titles, and held all these titles and has such lineage and literally has been the man in the company. Logan Paul is nothing to that guy. So it's like, I feel like having that Logan Paul like hang with someone that is a decorated former champion, yeah, it boosts Logan Paul's rating up, but it kind of diminishes Seth Rollins a bit,
I got what you're saying in terms of an experience level, but it's one of those things where I think I just chalk it up to seeing is believing. He held his own with Roman. He can be put in there for those big time matches, and he looks good in there. If he went in there and he was looking sloppy and just botching everything, then I think a lot more people would be like, "Oh, okay, what this guy's got no business being in the main event." But you put him in that spot, and he's able to hold it on. But yeah, I get what you're saying from an experience standpoint. If we were to look at it from a story, but definitely let's move on to the next match. Becky Lynch and Lita, who both are the women's tag team champions, teaming with Trish Stratus, taking on Damage Control, consisting of Bayley, Dakota Kai, and Io Sky. Lita is my all-time favorite women's wrestler alongside Molly Holly. Those are my two favorite women's wrestlers.
I give you props to Molly Holly.
So basically, seeing Lita, it's really awesome. Trish Stratus, another all-time legend, someone who worked really hard to get better in the ring. And when Lita and Trish left, man, I didn't think the division was the same. I had Beth Phoenix, who's also another one of my all-time favorites. But yeah, it is always great to see Lita and Trish. And honestly, I think both women are like 47 years old. They look tremendous in the ring. They've kept themselves physically up well. I thought conditioning in the ring, they looked very well. They moved very well in this ring. So much props to them. Really cool. Trish Stratus came out in a variation of her gear from WrestleMania 21, the last time they were in Hollywood. So that was awesome.
Gotta rock and roll.
Yes, it was good to hit all that music again. So it's cool seeing two of the all-time greats basically take on two of the greats in the business right now, or team with them in some sort of match. And then you got Dakota Kai and Io Sky, who were on their way up as well. It was good. There were some of the spots that I really loved. There was I forget what the move is called. It's like the Frankensteiner move where she does like the handstand and puts her ankles around your neck. I forget what it's called.
Oh my god.
I forgot what the move is called, and they weren't saying that, I don't think, much during the commentary, but you all know the move I'm talking about.
It's not the Stratisfaction. That's
that's the bulldog she does. But the move she does, Lita and Becky help Trish up to that, and she ends up taking her ankles, putting it around, I believe it was Io Sky's neck, and throws him on the Damage Control. I thought that was really cool. That was cool. There was also one of the things I loved is the ending sequence, basically. So Trish Stratus, she hits the Stratisfaction, followed up by Io and Dakota Kai getting hit with the moonsault from Lita, and then that leaves Becky and Bayley fighting on the top rope, and Becky ends up hitting the manhandle slam, aka the Rock Bottom, which the Rock did give her the endorsement to do, and they get the pin. 1, 2, 3. There's been a lot of rumors and stuff, and I hear, I go on, shout out to Aaron Riff and NoDQ.com. I go on NoDQ, and I go and I read what the rumors are, but I always just wait to see what happens on the show. I don't ever want to get myself caught up into it because if it doesn't happen, you're disappointed. So there's a lot of talk that Trish might turn heel, but I just didn't feel it, man. I didn't feel it here. I was like, it wouldn't make sense for Trish to turn heel when the titles are not on line. If you're gonna do a heel turn, then turn when the titles are on the line. Though I don't even know if Trish as a heel works now, being a legend that appears every now and then. But that's hearsay. We'll see if that happens. But I figured, yeah, Becky, Trish, and Lita would get the big happy ending win here. Doesn't do much to build credibility up with Damage Control. Definitely, it's going to be some sort of changes needed for them moving forward. But overall, I thought the match was fun and it's great. We won't get to see Trish and Lita in the ring as much anymore. They are 20 plus years older than when they were, or I probably should say maybe like 15 years older than when they were in their prime. 20 years ago, they were both still getting started. But as a fan, I was just happy to see it. So I can't complain. It was a nice, fun little match for WrestleMania with the right amount of star power of the past, present, and future. What did you think about the match, Rob?
I thought the match was absolutely entertaining to see two legends come back and just do their thing. They were a little slow. Like Lita is still her reckless self, just flopping all over the place, just throwing kicks and like it. The ring gear was really cool. Lita, baby girl, you're a mom. You did not need to have the thong gear. We're good. Like you didn't have to.
Don't think Lita's a mother. Don't think Lita's a mother yet.
She's not a mom. Oh! I would have thought. I know Trish is.
Trish is a mother. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, then Lita, do your thing, then, baby girl. Oh yeah. All right, let's go. Let's go. Let the cakes feed the world. All right.
Like I said, I think Lita and Trish have kept in tremendous shape for their age.
Oh, of course, absolutely. I just thought I was like, oh, like Lita has like a mom, she's like a couple of kids. I'm like, you don't need to throw a thong. I'm like, do people even wear thongs anymore? I'm like, Cisco said thong like years ago, but no, but it was really good, and it's like during the match, like it just got us like talking in the Discord. We're just talking about like great women champions and women wrestlers and stuff like that. And then I just literally just dropped it. I was like, listen, Medusa, aka Alundra Blaze, and people's like, yeah, we forgot about her. I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, I just wish like she could come back and just be able to like work with these women. Like she was the trailblazer in the WWF, not the WWF, she was like the first women's champion in the WWF in our generation in the 90s. And that like set like Bull Nakano to come into the WWF and have some amazing matches with her. And then of course that whole thing we're going to WCW, but like that was the like the emphasis, like that's like that set the way for the Litas, for the Trish Stratuses, for the Tori Wilsons, for the not Tori. We don't want to remember that Katsu, but for AJ Lee's, for all the amazing women wrestlers that we have in the WGBE now, it all started with Alundra Blaze. So it's like I just wish that they would bring her back, because I love seeing Trish, I love seeing Lita, but bringing her back would be awesome as well. But back to the match, amazing back and forth action. The ladies like kept up with the Young Bucks, and Bayley being the uber heel, doing a fantastic job being the leader of a faction. Like Bayley, no matter what you put her in, like she's great with it. Dakota Kai, I feel like Dakota Kai is like starting to like finally get into herself, because I feel like she's kind of like lost in the shuffle of the group a little bit, because I see her like Io Shirai, like she's like right in people's faces, because like she's like very like more like fast, quick, snappy, and then Bayley's just the brawler and the leader. So it's like Dakota Kai is like, hey, I'm here, I'm fierce, but it's like kind of getting shadowed. But I felt like in this match, she shined a little bit more. So overall, fantastic match. I have not been let down yet in any of these matches at WrestleMania this evening. Yeah.
The next match was Rey Mysterio versus Dominik Mysterio, father versus son. I believe the second time in WrestleMania history, going back all the way to WrestleMania 17, Vince versus Shane. This match had one of the best build-ups, and I know you weren't watching consistently, Rob. Yeah, this was tremendous. I thought the video package for it was tremendous. Of course, shout out to Rey Mysterio, who just went into the Hall of Fame. Very well deserved. And basically, yeah, just everything that Dominik kept constantly pushing Rey over and over. I'm not going to fight fight my son. I'm going to fight my son. And then he gets into his mom's face and says, shut up, mom. Oh, and Ray comes, boom, blast him. And it's like, don't you ever speak to your mom that way. Oh, we're like, yeah. I'm like, that's real. That's real.
I thought
that's
she was about to take off the chocolates and start beating him with it. Shoot.
that like everybody's like, okay, we can all identify with that. Yeah, yeah. I figured it was gonna be something with Angie. And man, the entrances were great. So let's talk about Dominik's entrance. It had shades of Scott Steiner, because when I heard that alarm, I was like, hold on, if you hear me.
little papi pump. If you hear me, baby.
And then after that, we get what's his name? We get what was that? I was like Goldberg as well. Like when they had like the security or the officers, like we got shades of Goldberg. Goodness. I think they had him handcuffed, so we got shades of Kane's awesome entrance from 2003. Like
I don't understand how did the cool with the handcuffs. All right, cool with the little tattoo with the beautiful. That was such a beautiful touch with the tear tattoo. But how the hell do you let Dominik Mysterio go to jail in his ring gear? That's what you no. Yeah, you can't. It's suspense. Yeah, all right. You know, yeah, I could buy into it, but no, not. It was all
entertainment. And that's the thing. That's the way he was playing. Like he was taken to jail in the storyline for something that would be basically, they throw him in, he gets bailed out for one night, but the way he treated was like he did hard times and he went with it, and he was playing like the delusional heel that was acting tough now because he's like, I've done hard times, I'm a hard time criminal and stuff, and it made for great entertainment. It was hilarious. And what I really am very proud of Dominik Mysterio is he's coming to his own. When you look at the way he was just even months ago, I always felt he was kind of a little monotone sounding on the microphone because he was still trying to find his way, trying to get those emotion. But then when you look at this storyline, and what I noticed in the video package is it showed month after month after month, this guy kept getting better, and now he is full of so much more emotion. Yeah, obviously he still has a huge way to go in terms of becoming like an all-time great on the microphone, but he's definitely well on his way to becoming much better. He's showing so much more emotion now. I think just working with Finn, Priest, and Rhea, they have brought out the best in him, and man, it's been tremendous. And especially the fire he showed in his most recent promos against Rey, fantastic, man. Dominik Mysterio in the heel heat, like this man has come a long way from where he was character-wise, because I've always thought he was really good in the ring, very solid in the ring, but now he's really developed and coming into his own as a character. And then Rey Mysterio, not to be outdone, comes out with Snoop Dogg. I'm like, oh, he got the music. Da, 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 da. And then after that, they switched over to Eddie Guerrero's music. I lie, I cheat, I steal. Like, man, it has been too long since I've heard that. Man, just hearing that music again really reminded me how much I miss Eddie Guerrero. Rest in peace. Had he lived this long, man, no doubt he would have been a great part of this storyline, whether it was being a heel, joining sides with Dominik, so they're going to basically play off as if they were father and son, or had he been the babyface where he sides with Rey Mysterio to try and help him take down his son that's gotten so disrespectful. Man, forever a legend. Rest in peace, Eddie Guerrero.
I didn't understand the whole like Juice and Thunder Liger gear that Rey Mysterio was wearing. Like, do you understand what his gear was?
No, he was probably paying tribute to. I wasn't sure. He probably was paying tribute to someone. His the way his mastership kind of reminded me of Great Muta, but I don't know if that was what he was going for, because Great Muta, of course, went into the Hall of Fame. But yeah, it looked cool, but I'm not gonna really speculate too much on it because I don't know exactly as far as what he was going for, and I don't want to even pretend like I did. But yeah, like, I'm gonna be real with y'all. Like, if I'm not sure, then I'm like, I don't like speaking on stuff I don't know about. But that being said, too, then he goes into Rey Mysterio's music, booyaka, booyaka. I loved it, man. I was into it. The match was good. I enjoyed a lot of the emotion too, especially when like Dominik got in front of his sister and threw water in his sister's face. Shout out to Aaliyah. She's a trooper. The few times she's come back in the storyline, she's let Rhea push her. She's let her brother spam water. So I think it's really cool how she's always willing to, just like take something for the team in order to advance the story. And then I remember when he gets into his mom's face trying to tell her to shut up again, and Angie smacks the crap out of his face. I'm like, oh! And I remember growing up as a kid, hearing about teachers who, because back when I was a kid, the way our teacher would be like, if I would have told my mom that, they would have slapped the taste out of me. And we were all like, they slapped you? Like, back then you could do that. You can't now, but you could then. So I'm like, wow, okay. So I'm looking at it like, oh dang. I'm like, oh, don't mess with Mama Mysterio. She can go too far, slap the taste out your mouth. I remember too when Eddie, when they did the spot too, when he's trying to, I think Rey's trying to hold Aaliyah back and Dominik takes it as a cheap shot. I really like some of the basic heel tactics I saw. Like, he's like, when the referee's not looking, he's trying to remove the turnbuckle. Just like, man, it's cool to see some of those nice heel tactics from when I grew up as a kid still being used. So that was really cool. Oh, there was a hilarious spot where Dominik is basically on the side of the turnbuckle, and Rey Mysterio takes off his leather belt and just starts whooping Dominik Mysterio right on the butt multiple times. Crowd popped huge for it. Definitely a very entertaining moment during this match. We got Legado del Fantasma came out, who were gifted LWO shirts, so shout out. That was a really nice throwback by Rey Mysterio. They're coming down to even the odds with Judgment Day when they were out there. So I figured this match was gonna have probably a screwy finish when you had all this interference going on, but eventually Rey Mysterio, he hits the 619 and the frog splash on Dominik. 1, 2, 3, and I was like, oh, he's not putting his son over on the grandest stage of them all. I chose Dominik. I chose it on No DQ. I'm like, okay,
everybody did.
On this build up, I'm like, okay, I'm like, he's probably gonna want to put his son over on the grandest stage, and they'll have a rematch, and Rey will win. They'll probably trade back and forth, but in the end, months down the line, Rey Mysterio gets the final big victory to end with a happy ending. But I always figured they would probably want to have that moment where they look back at WrestleMania and be like, man, he won. He can go about bragging like, I beat a Hall of Famer at WrestleMania. I'm like, great heel heat, but they didn't. I'm like, okay, wow, already. It was a good ending. It is the right ending. The father putting his son in his place that's being disrespectful. So it's definitely the right ending that this story needs. I just thought they were saving it for later down. But overall, it was a good match, and I think we're gonna see more from these. I just, like I said, I thought Rey was gonna put his son over on the grandest stage of them all and make a huge moment that will be remembered forever when it comes to Dominik. But it is what it is there. I'm looking forward to seeing more though from them. But overall, it was a good match and a great build up. What did you think, Rob?
It was a great match, super great match. Everybody that was in the Discord was like, "Oh yeah, Dominik's gonna win. Dominik's gonna win. He's not. He's gonna let his son out." And then I legit joked. I'm like, watch. Rey's gonna go. It's gonna be like the WrestleMania day. Rey and Dominik go. They're on their way to the arena, and then Rey's just gonna literally look at Dominik, put his hand on his shoulder, like, son, I love you, right? Dominik's like, yeah, Papa, I know you love me, but like, yeah, by the way, I'm going over tonight. Have a good night. And just bounce and I joked around with it. And then what happened? That's exactly what happened. I literally, Rey was like, ha, yeah, okay, no. I just became a Hall of Famer. You think I'm going out on my back? Yo, Papa, you better carry my bags, bro. But like, I think in storyline, what will happen is, one, they're not gonna have him job on his Hall of Fame night. Not gonna happen. What's gonna happen is Dominik is gonna get even more focused, more purpose, and then it's gonna be either loser leaves town, loser retires, or loser loses mask.
Mm-hmm.
And they're gonna pick up the stakes. I say that it would probably be loser leaves town or loser retires. Have Rey retire, have him go away for a couple of months or even a year, get your Legends money, come back in a year, then bam, you're fresh. Revive the feud if they want to. But this is absolutely what should have happened. Rey Mysterio conquered his bratty son, put him in his place. Now his son's gonna get pissed off and is gonna say, you know what? I'm going even harder at you now. I want you now. Ray's gonna be like, no, we're done. I already beat you. I beat you on the grand stage of the mall. I don't blah blah blah. He's gonna do something to the mom. He's gonna put the mom, either Mama Mysterio or a sister Mysterio, Leah, in the hospital, and it's gonna say, this is not gonna stop until it's gonna be either you put me in the hospital or I retire you or something like that. And it's going to be a retirement match, and Ray's going to go out, and Dominik Mysterio is going to be the Mysterio standing tall. That's my prediction right there.
Yeah, we'll see. It'll be interesting to see where this goes, because it definitely ain't over by a long shot. That's for sure. No way it ends like this. So we're gonna move on to our next match.
Before we go into the match, I just have a comment.
What's up?
They hyped so much. This is the first all women's match. Two women in the match. 2 women in a match. There's a female ref. The announcer was female, and then I'm like, why didn't you make the announcers female? Why didn't you make the people behind the desk female? Why did Michael Cole have to do that? If you wanted to make it all female, go all the way. Have Trish and Lita come back out and do it, and have the legends announce this legendary match. It would have made so much sense. And it literally would have been all female centric, and it would have been super cool. Like saying, yeah, 2 amazing women in the ring. We have a female ring announcer. We have a female ref. Give me the female announcers. Is the ring person a female too? That would have been cool if they literally went that extra mile. I would have been like, heck yeah, WWE. There you go. If you're gonna go all female, do it all the way. And you guys did it all the way, but they dropped the ball on that. So next time, do it all the way. That's my comment before we go into the match. Let's go.
Right. Well, Trish and Lita probably don't have the experience in the early other 2 women that they had. Renee is in AEW now, and Beth is retired because she's come back to semi wrestling. And I don't even know if her and Edge were there tonight because they're on the show for tomorrow. So who knows?
Get Maurice. You got Maurice. You got Beth Phoenix.
I don't know, like with their experience level though, that's something. But yeah, in terms of the match, the Smackdown Women's Championship, Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair.
Now there was that's my homegirl right there.
There was a lot of talk going in, like, will they be the main event? So when I found out they were next, I'm like, yes, they're doing the tag team match as the main event, but we'll talk more about that coming up. Samantha Irving, who is fantastic as an announcer, man, ring announcer, doing a great job hyping all these matches up. She did a great job introduction-wise, and Rhea Ripley, I noticed, got 0 boos. And if she did get any boos, they were definitely not hearable because there were so many cheers. The LA crowd really wanted Rhea to win. And when they announced Charlotte Flair, it was definitely a mixed reaction. So let me just say right now, I am very happy that these women got to finally perform in front of a large stadium audience. 3 years ago, when the pandemic first hit, they were in that empty warehouse and with the pandemic center. And man, I'm glad that these ladies got to go out there. And I think hands down, they've had about 4 matches. This is the best match, and this is the match that was clean. Before I continue on, what's up, Rob?
I like one. Yes, I want to piggyback on what you said. It is so amazing to see them in this match. I thought they were the main event. That's when after it was done, I messaged you. I'm like, "Are you ready?" Like, no. I was like, "Oh man, there's another match." I thought they had the main event. I was like, they deserved it. Up. And but one thing I will say that was a big giveaway in the announcements. In the announcements, you could see in the wrestlers' faces who was going to win. Because you looked at Rhea and you already saw tears in her eyes, and you saw her lips literally started trembling when they announced her name. Then when you saw Charlotte, she looked so pissed, and I was like, oh, okay, I see what's gonna happen. And I was like, is it gonna happen? But in their faces, like you could just see like that emotion in both of them that was building up, and it literally totally was expressed in the match and how they went at each other. That's all I gotta say about
You
that.
may have thought she was angry. I think Charlotte was just looking intense, and I'll bring this back up when we get towards the end of the match with Charlotte's
Okay.
facial expression. But yeah, some of the things in
Okay.
this match, there was a really cool transition where Rhea picked Charlotte up to do the Riptide, and Charlotte just did a beautiful transition into a tornado DDT, which Rhea sold beautifully.
Spike.
Man, Charlotte Flair, so athletic. Now I got scared a few times during this match for the German suplex spots. So there's one part where Rhea does a German suplex to Charlotte on the off the top of the rope, and I was like, oh, I hope Charlotte didn't hit her head. And they played in slow motion. Charlotte pretty much did a backflip to sell it. But there was one where they did it closer to the ground, and there's no hiding it. When they played in slow motion, she goes face first with like her whole body is like sticking like butt in the air. If you're a Dragon Ball fan, you remember when Goku elbows Raccoon and he falls and his butt sticking in the air. That's kind of the position that Charlotte Flair landed in. She landed face first, and honestly, that probably saved her. Had she not landed and turned her face, man, that could have been a broken neck, broken head. Oh my gosh, it was some scary.
She has a broken nose, hands down. She has a broken nose.
It looked like her nose got messed up during it. But what I loved about the match is it felt like both women were going at it. They were going at it for the richest prize in the women's division. Like it felt brutal. It felt like a fight, like just two women really going at it saying, I'm the better one. And I love when you can bring that realism to the match. It really gets me into it in terms of just seeing like, man, this is a war that we're seeing. And there were some close near falls that they were doing. And I thought we were going to get a screwy finish when Charlotte almost ran into the referee. And I was like, oh, and she puts on the brakes, and then Rhea hits her with the headbutt, and then goes into the shoulder, and then lands the riptide. And Charlotte kicked out of the ring. I'm like, oh man, it had me on the edge of my seat. There was another close near fall when Charlotte hit a spear on Rhea, and Rhea kicked out. I'm like, okay, we're going here. This is going good. But what I really loved was the finish at the match. After this great back and forth action that Rhea and Charlotte were showcasing, they're on top of the rope, and Rhea, she grabs Charlotte by the head and jumps off and basically face plants Charlotte face first onto the top of the ring post. And Charlotte, the way she sold it, she was
so
out.
Hilarious. It was hilarious.
Her arms were dangling down. The referee, she wasn't moving, and they were like, I think Charlotte is out. And she gets up and she yells to Charlotte, this is my time. And then gets up and hits the riptide off the top rope, and she laid that riptide in. Boom. 1, 2, 3. She does like her asserting dominance pin. And then 1, 2, 3, Rhea Ripley wins 100% clean as a whistle. And this goes back to what I was saying earlier in the review. You want to put Austin Theory over and convince the audience that he is the real deal. You have him beat John Cena as clean as Rhea beat Charlotte Flair. This is how you make stars. This is how you do it. I am so glad, because their other matches, Charlotte won clean, and then the other two, they were with Rhea and Charlotte, where they got each other disqualified and they just couldn't have Charlotte going over. Triple H did the booking right here. This was excellently booked. The crowd popped loud. This was really good, and the crowd got into it, especially. Man, amazing. And to go back to your point, Rob, about Charlotte, you think she would sell this looking like she wants to cry, or that she's angry, that she just lost her prized possession, but she sold it where she's smiling. I think maybe that would have been legitimate. She was just happy to see Rhea get her moment, and I think she just couldn't hide it. And the commentators, they try to go ahead and basically, I guess, make up for it, saying that, even Charlotte is like, yep, she got me. But overall, man, it was a great moment. And like I said, I think Bianca and Rhea are the women that they're going to build this whole division around. So I'll get more into Bianca in terms of storyline tomorrow for a match with Asuka. But on this night, man, Rhea, Charlotte, excellent match. It's hard to say for me. I'll come to a decision when I make my ranking video, but match of the night with the main event, I'm gonna have to really think about it. But these women delivered a very much main event caliber match. Hats off to them. I can't say good enough things about this. One that will be remembered for years to come. Excellent. I enjoyed this one even better than when she beat Asuka a couple of years ago at WrestleMania 2021. Excellent. So I can't say enough good things about it. Rob, you take the floor.
This match is the quintessential pillar of what women's wrestling is in 2023 and should be in 2023 moving forward.
Yes.
Like, just absolutely great athleticism. They told a story. It was not a screwy finish, and like Rhea came in looking like a star and leaving like a superstar, you know? And it's like when like the way that you were, seeing Charlotte's face, I saw it like me being, having it's weird that I have the wrestler brain of someone that's been in the wrestling business and know the psychology of how things should be, and then understanding that it's the WWE, so it's not going to make sense. And then having the fan brain that I've been away from the ring so long that like I'm just like I don't know anything, so I'm just like a fan. I'm just like I'm being very like enthusiastic about everything I see. So having to balance both brains, I'm just coming to the realization that storyline wise, it could be like, okay, Charlotte's like, okay, this is it. I've done everything I've done. Good for you. I'm gonna retire. Or she's gonna just leave and come back, and then she's gonna come back even stronger than ever, and then just demolish everybody one more time, and then retire. Because I don't believe Charlotte Flair has anything else to prove. The WWE has literally solidified Charlotte Flair as the quintessential woman wrestler of WWE. She's the female Ric Flair for the women's division in the WWE. Like that's what the WWE has placed her on. And in the history books, unless someone comes around and dethrones her, that is going to be her place. So I feel that she doesn't need to do anything more else in the WWE. She could retire, start going into movies like a lot of the people in the WWE are doing. That's what the machine is doing nowadays, taking wrestlers, making them into movie stars. Batista, The Rock, John Cena, now Roman Reigns, and The Miz. So, have her do that and then be in the Hall of Fame in the next 2-3 years. Right now, this should be the passing of the torch moment, Hogan to Warrior moment, except back then it was tainted by Hogan still. But this is like that. It is like the Stone Cold Bret Hart passing of the torch moment. I feel like this is a quintessential passing of the torch moment where the champion will start their descension into the sunset.
Nice, very well said, man. We're gonna definitely see. I don't think Charlotte's done by a long shot. I actually believe that I think she will be next to take on Bianca Belair if Bianca wins tomorrow night. But we can talk more about that later on that tomorrow night. But yeah, this is good, man. This is, like I said, this is exactly what they need to do to really build Rhea as a star. All right, moving on to our next match.
Well, hold on, question.
Yeah, what's up?
Before we even move on, I have a question. Now, do you think this is speculating on storylines? Do you think that now that Rhea is a champion and the rest of her stablemates aren't a champion, she will become the eyesore of the group, and everybody's gonna start being jealous, and then the group's gonna break up like that? I feel like it could be an evolution type of situation that they're happy, but now she's the champion. All the attention's on her, and they're gonna get jealous.
No, because I think big plans are in store tomorrow night when we get to Finn Balor, and I'll talk more about that tomorrow night for tomorrow for that Hell in a Cell. So I think it's gonna be a pretty good day for the Judgment Day minus Dominik. But moving on, he lost his match. All right, so Nick Khan, CEO of WWE, the pretty much top guy in charge, just right under Vince McMahon, basically worked everybody when he said there was going to be no Pat. They haven't contact Pat McAfee because Pat McAfee shows up and Michael Cole goes crazy on commentary. Ever since Triple H took over creative, I love the freedom he gives Michael Cole on commentary. So Snoop Dogg is back out there, and basically ends up making an impromptu match with The Miz, and this is basically a showcase match for everything that Pat McAfee can do, and he basically squashes The Miz, and I don't follow football, but the guy that came out was part of the 49ers. He gets involved. And I think that could have been a disqualification. And shout out, it should have been probably disqualification because Rob, you were pointing out all night. I know that there were several things that should have been disqualified. Whether it was NG slapping Dominik,
yes, Dominik's mom getting slapped. Yeah. That's a DQ, ref.
Right. or I was like, can they use the table that way in Logan Paul and Seth's match? So I don't know what was going on with the referees were just being real chilled with the rules.
It was ECW rules tonight. That's
yeah. But yeah. Anyway, Pat he ends up basically defeating the Miz. All right, I love Pat McAfee. He's been one of the best things they've had on commentary, honestly. But I don't know if this was necessary.
This is a bathroom break. Legit. I literally went to the bathroom.
I would have much rather seen, maybe Pat didn't have the time, so if he didn't, understandable, but I would have rather seen Pat call the show with Corey Graves and Michael Cole than do this. It felt like towards the last hour they were just doing certain things like in this match to kind of just make sure we get to that if you're on Central Time 11 o'clock hour basically extended for that last hour or something. But anyway, it was fun, but like I said, I don't know if it was necessary to do this to the Miz, man, who was, in the main event a decade plus ago. That being said, moving on to the main event.
Damn, you were not even giving the Miz even just
you know what? I'm sorry, Rob.
You're like, let's just move on.
Well, hold on. I'm sorry. I forgot you were in it. Anything you want to add about this?
This match was trash, and I went to the bathroom. Let's move on.
Okay.
That's so bad. It's such a shame that the Miz, like literally, he's one of the hardest working people in the WWE. He is literally the new John Cena. And they just they job him out like this. They wouldn't job out Cena.
I want to emphasize, I can see somebody out there like, what do you mean the new John Cena?
The new John Cena, as in the new corporate guy that the WWE relies on. He does everything that they say, movies, appearances, Make-A-Wish. He is there. You want him to job, he will job. You want him to win, he will win. Whatever you want. The
company guy got you. Yeah,
he's a company guy.
Yeah, he is very loyal to the company. Yeah, like I said, and Pat McAfee, he's fantastic. But I like the matches when he's built up. Like his stuff with Corbin and Austin last year was good stuff. Also, I think Michael Cole mentioned that there are 2 undefeated announcers in WrestleMania history himself, which is true. And I think he said Pat McAfee, but I was like, Pat McAfee, who's been doing these impromptu matches, he lost to Vince McMahon last year. So Cole might have been wrong on that one. I think he was, because Vince got an official win last year, his first ever WrestleMania win. But let's go on
that
to that
horrible match with the most botched stunner of the world.
Stephen Austin was cracking up at it. It was entertaining. Oh my gosh.
It's like an old mummy taking a stunner.
But hey, that was last year. This is this year. But you know what's really cool? Because our main event was Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus the Usos, consisting of Jimmy and Jay. And it is for the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championships. Before we even get in the match, let's talk about some fantastic stuff. You look at Kevin Owens and you take that guy and be like 15, 20 years ago, that's going to be the guy that main events WrestleMania with Stone Cold Steve Austin. And then he's going to come back the following year and main event again for the Tag Team Championships. A lot of people would have looked at you like you're crazy. But you know what? It happened. I am so proud of Kevin Owens, especially he started there in LA and now he's back in the main event of WrestleMania. Same thing for Sami. I mean, who would have, he had a great comedy match last year with Johnny Knoxville, and who would have ever thought 1 year later he'd be back main eventing WrestleMania. And man, when you talk about tag teams main eventing WrestleMania, I can't think of anyone more deserving of the honor than Jimmy and Jay, the Usos. To me, they are arguably, I would even put them top 5 greatest tag teams of all time in WWE, and maybe in professional wrestling top 10. These guys, man, they've come a long way. They're certainly, I think, the best tag team in the modern day for WWE. So honestly, these four guys, man, I think they are deserving to get this spot. The buildup over the last year has been tremendous. I have done so much in these reviews talking about the awesomeness of this bloodline story. It's one of the reasons why their matches and the ranking matches that I've been doing for Survivor Series 2022 and Royal Rumble 2023, I ranked there so high. So, I mean, excellent. The acting, the emotion, and the storytelling, just it's been fantastic. So they had a lot to deliver here, and I'm glad that it made the main event because with Triple H in charge of creative, he had to know. He had to know from firsthand experience getting the main event at WrestleMania 18 with Jericho, only to be overshadowed by Hogan and Rock. Getting the main event at WrestleMania 25 with Randy Orton, only to be overshadowed by The Undertaker and Shawn Michaels. He had to know, you got to put this match, the emotion's going to be off the charts. And man, yeah, the match started off a little slow, basically, as they were, doing the filling out process. But then quickly, man, fans were getting really into it. There were so many super kicks in this match, I will say. They spammed the crap out of them super kicks. And there were so many near falls, man, in this match. I really love a lot of the storytelling element that we had with the trash talking of Jey Uso when he's got Sami Zayn. They're doing like multiple double super kicks in the corner. There's even a part where the Usos put Kevin Owens basically on the announce table, and they help him go out. And like I said, I'm questioning if this was legal tactic. There were so many matches on here. I'm like, is that legal? They were really lax with these legal tactics. Yeah, a lot of shenanigans. I'm like, well, my gosh. But yeah, like I said, great storytelling with, there it is, Jey Uso slapping Sami in the corner, basically saying, yelling, "You was my brother. You was my brother." I love Jey Uso's whole performance through this whole story, man, was been good. And then he hit Sami with the haluva kick, and that was a great near fall. I think Sami he basically kicked out by just throwing his shoulder up. Like, man, it was great. There was another great near fall when Sami, he basically makes the hot tag to KO, and basically from there, Kevin Owens, he hits the pop-up power bomb on both the Usos, and then Sami gets the haluva kick, and KO gets the stunner on the other Uso, and it's 1-2 once again, a near fall. I was like, whoa, they had me there, because I was like, wow, okay. And there was once again a lot of super kicks in this. There was a super kick party here, obviously, in this match. There was even the part where KO and I forget if it was KO or Sami, but the Usos, they did their stereo Uso splash, which is always usually what finishes it, and they basically still kicked out. They hit the 1D, which Michael Cole mentioned nobody's ever kicked out of the 1D, which was granted down to them with the Dudley Boys blessing, and they still kicked out. So man, the emotion was running high in this. I'm like, dang. All right, I was on the edge of my seat, man. He even had Kevin Owens. He hits the the ending sequence, though. This had all the emotion. So Kevin Owens hits the twisting suplex off the top rope to Jey Uso, and then tags in Sami Zayn, and he hits the haluva kick basically twice, I think, to Jey Uso. And for the longest time, he's just staring there. And I'm like, basically, once again, going back to Dragon Ball, when Goku had the Super Genki Dama, aka Spirit Bomb, and he's with Kid Buu, and he's just sitting there basically talking about how great of a opponent Kid Buu is, and they go to the family and they're like, Kakarot, Dad, Father, do it! That's literally was me. I was like, finish him! Finish him! And he's just sitting there, and I'm like, finish him! And I think that's when Uso got back in the ring, and I'm like, crap. And then he got laid out with a stunner, and I'm like, all right, now's your chance. And he's still sitting there, and I'm like, finish him! But Sami Zayn finally gets the haluva kick on Jey Uso, 1, 2, 3, and that audience explodes. That great shot of them panning out, people jumping up and down, tears of joy. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, beautiful embrace, holding the undisputed tag team champions ships, pyro growing off. The emotion was at an all-time high, and I felt this was the right move, because there's nothing really left for Jimmy and Jay to accomplish as tag teams. They've broken all the records, basically. They are the longest tag team champions in WWE history, so I could see it, unlike in our main event tomorrow night, where there's a certain champion who hasn't reached 1,000 days, and that's why I'm like, it's close between him and Cody, but more about that tomorrow night. But this was excellent. This was a heck of a tag team championship run from the Usos. The story built up for
Yeah.
Kerry and Sami Zayn. I'm glad they got their moment. I'm glad Kevin Owens could say I main evented WrestleMania twice. I'm glad Sami Zayn said I can say I main evented, and I'm glad the Usos could say they main evented. It's just like, man, this was tremendous. Like I said, it's gonna be very tough for me. From as far as which one, I think I may have liked the in-ring work with Rhea and Charlotte better, but the storytelling and the emotion and everything behind this, man, this is good. It's gonna be a tough one for me to rank, but yeah, this is an excellent main event, and it topped off what I thought was overall a phenomenal WrestleMania Part One booked by Triple H, and I'm confident with Triple H booking too. This is why I love Triple H being in charge of creative. I know he still says Vince McMahon gets some of the say so, but you could just really tell how Triple H booked this whole WrestleMania that he did not want to BS the fans, and man, I can't really say anything. Everything delivered on this show, and so did this main event. So before we wrap up this review, Rob, what was your thoughts
Yeah.
on the main event, given the tremendous build up behind it?
There is so much to unpack about this one match. It was rightfully deserved to be the main event. This was the best match of the show for me. The second is Rhea and Charlotte, then Rey and Dominik. Just the emotion and emotionality of the storyline was just so great. I got a crash course in it, like going in and out of watching wrestling and not. Like I would see how storylines going here or there, and then I caught the storyline where he betrayed him, and I was like, oh snap! And then I saw Jay was going on with Jay. I was like, yo, and this is where I'm gonna break down my stuff in little compartments. So the first compartment is what I think they should have done, because it just makes way more wrestling sense, right? What should have happened was Jay should not have went back with his brother. Jay should have went pushed forward, fought Roman Reigns, beat Roman Reigns for with help of Jimmy. Then they basically betray Roman. Roman goes away for a couple of months. Like Jay is the champion. Then because they're brothers, Jimmy asks, "Yo, bro, let me get a title shot." It's like, all right, cool. If you beat me, you could get one of the belts. Bam. You get the SmackDown and the Raw champion. Them split. And then who comes back? Royal Rumble and wins the Royal Rumble? The tribal chief is back, wins the Royal Rumble, and says, I want to challenge both of you. WrestleMania, it's family, it's a bloodline family all over again. Now Roman comes back and wins the belt again and unifies it again. I thought that's what it should have been. But with what we got, it's still good. I believe we should have went that way. But with what we got, it was just so beautiful. You just see like the brothers just like where it's about the family, and then you and like how the WWE package how El Generico, aka Sami Zayn, and Kevin Steen, aka Kevin Owens, were friends in the Indies. They were thick and thin no matter what. And now they had their rifts. Like every other friendship has rifts, but they came back together. And then coming from it's like that Drake song, started from the bottom. Now we're here. Like literally, that's what they did. They started from the bottom with each other, doing PWG, doing the Indies, going to Japan, going to Mexico, going to Canada, working their way up to get into the WWE. Discarded, didn't nobody like Sami Zayn was a joke. Kevin Owens got his opportunity, then he was brought down. Now is their way. Now they're coming back up and they're on the top of the mountaintop together as friends. And that is super, super awesome. Being a wrestler myself, that is an awesome thing to know that one of your boys in the trenches through all your pain. It's painful. If you don't know what wrestling is, it's painful. Wrestling is real. Okay. It's predetermined, yes, but all the pain is real. Okay. Going through all of that with someone through the years, through over decades now, and finally making it and like being able to like look at the social media after and you see like Sami Zayn just like hugging and kissing his wife, that meant something to them, and it meant something even more that they did it together.
Yeah, they started all in PWG, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I've heard, just being a long time viewer of, shout out to No DQ, Aaron Riff in his video has constantly mentioned them a lot over the years. So to just for him and Jeff Meacham to see them going to WrestleMania main event, I know it had to mean a lot to them. So I take a look at that, man. It is truly amazing when you see how far they've all
Oof.
come. And I mean, I just think, just coming out of the at least the era where we had no fans 3 years ago, all these guys have
Mhm.
come a long way. KO, Sami Zayn, man, the Usos, like, just everyone from 3 years ago are so much better off than they were now, and it's tremendous. I
Yeah.
love that the Usos have reinvented themselves time and time again, and just KO and Sammy's work speaks for itself. So truly a great main event. And WrestleMania, like I said, with Triple H
Yeah.
now booking, I'm confident
Mhm.
that we're gonna get a good WrestleMania. What do you guys wanted to make another segment too?
Yeah, and I just wanted to like encapsulate it with the last little part of the puzzle right here, talking about the Usos. This is a big shout out to the Usos because, like, the Usos, like you said, they are the tag team of the modern era, and and in the Discord we were talking about this, and I definitely want to bring it up here that I believe that they are in the top 5 tag teams of all time, and if the WWE would let them travel the world and go to Japan and go to Mexico and to go to the UK, they would literally be in the top 3 because right now, and I would love your opinion on this, like right before we go on to the end of this. The top 5, I believe, in wrestling tag teams is the Dudleys, 1, the Steiner brothers, 2, 3 is the Legion of Doom, 4 is the Usos, and 5 is the Rock and Roll Express.
I can't disagree with that. Those are definitely top 10. I would have to think about it for a long time in terms of considering everybody wrestling. That's why I said top 10. But if I had to narrow it down to top 5, I would have to really think about it. But honestly,
Yeah,
when you think about it, because all those guys really helped change the business in tag team wrestling to what it is. But
exactly.
the Usos, man, they're gonna go down. That's for sure.
Yeah.
It's all time great to what they've accomplished. So yeah, man, I can't really argue with that at all. But
I
yeah,
just wish they got to travel, man. If they got to travel and work with some of the Jap, that's why the Dudleys are number 1, and Steiner brothers are slightly number 2. Look at the Dudleys. They went to Japan. They went to Mexico. They went all
yep,
around the
Legion of
world.
Doom.
They
Yep.
look like Muda. Like not
A
Muda.
great
The
build, body
Ultimo
of work
Dragon. Yeah,
worldwide.
Ultimo Dragon draped in gold. If the Usos were allowed to do that, they would literally overpass them and be the number 1 tag team of all time. But the WWE, like, this is for Paul. This is for Triple H. Do talent exchanges, man. Do talent exchanges. Like, you see AEW doing that with our like, well, with the Ring of Honor,
He owns
but
it,
before
both of
before a
them.
minute,
Yeah.
yeah, with that, and like doing it with like New Japan and doing those and Dragon Gate USA, like, do talent exchanges. Let your talent go out there so they are recognized as the best in the world. WWE did it a long time ago with Hogan. Hogan went to Japan. He was defending his WWF title in Japan. He was known as the best champion in the world because he was the world champion that defended it across the world. So give the roster right now that opportunity to showcase their stuff around the world. I bet you right there, instant megastars, and they will show that the WWE way is the way that needs to go.
Well, hey, definitely. It's something I would love to see Triple H. You talk about so much forbidden doors. Yeah, open some more of these forbidden doors to see WWE stars like they did with Great Muta and Shinsuke
Yes.
Nakamura. Love to definitely see more of that. And if you'd like to see our WrestleMania 39 Night 2 review, it'll be right there. The link is on the screen and in the description and / pin comment below. Also, along with it is me and Rob's social media outlets as well as my affiliate links. Thanks for watching.